Very good morning to everyone. Welcome to Network Ethics. Today we are going to discuss about the final. We are giving a 3 hours demo for our upcoming batch 5-in-1 Firewall training program, guys. Okay, so in this 5-in-1 Firewall training program, now we are going to discuss. So what are all the topics we are going to cover? What are the products we are going to cover? What is the curriculum level, right? And what is the training mode? All those things I'll explain you. Okay. So let me start with about this introduction about this course. So in this course, it's a firewall mastery program. Okay, so it doesn't mean you have to start join only for the firewall compo or 5-in-1 firewall compo. You are planning to learn any one of the firewall product inside in this compo like Paloalto, Checkpoint. So that is your wish, you can join. Okay, but we are also giving as a firewall mastery program as a compo firewall program. So in that 5-in-1 firewall compo, we are covering almost industry leader web vendor products. Okay, so almost all these four vendor products we are covering in this 5-in-1 Firewall training program. Okay, so all are industry leader. Okay, so most widely used products in the industry, and these products are having a huge demands in the industry, guys. Okay, so now we are going to see what are the products we are going to cover and what is the advantage by learning this uh, compo as a compo. By learning these five products, what are the advantage you are going to have and what is the necessary to learn multiple products, so that and all we are going to discuss. Okay, so after that, as a demo purpose, those who are all very new to the security domain, right? So those who are not aware what is firewall, what is the purpose of having firewall, right? So for that purpose, I'm going to take a one session. Okay, so it's just like an introduction to the firewall and what is the benefit to learn by learning this firewall. All those things we will discuss, guys. Okay, clear? So before that, I just want to show you what is our upcoming batch details. Okay, so this we are going to give us this 5-in-1 Firewall compo training program. This is the cost, and then the schedule. Right, so this, let me show you the schedule where what about our upcoming batches for Jan 24. Okay, so 3rd January, we are going to start one 5-in-1 Firewall compo training program, which is going to start with Palo Alto as a first firewall program. Palo Alto is the first firewall which you are going to learn. Okay, and mm, 7th, it's a weekdays evening batch, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. 1 hour batch, guys. Okay, so Monday to Friday we are having session. There is no session on weekend for the weekdays batches. Okay, so Palo Alto and 5-in-1 Firewall compo we are starting. The same day we are having a morning batch. Okay, so which is starting with checkpoint and 5-in-1 Firewall compo. In that batch, we are starting a first firewall as a checkpoint firewall. Okay, so timing will be 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Okay, 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. And those who are looking for a weekend batch, so 6th next week. Okay, next week, 6th is Jan, we are going to start FortiGate NSC4 as a first firewall in this 5-in-1 Firewall compo. Okay, so rest of the firewall after completion of each and every firewall will start one by one, guys. Okay, we'll not recommend you to join multiple firewall the same time. Okay, so based on, but your if you're able to complete multiple batch, if you're able to grab, then that's fine. But my recommendation, please go one by one in this 5-in-1 Firewall compo so that you have enough time to do hands-on. Okay. So, but if you want to complete in a fast track manner, if you're available, any batch, weekdays batch also you can join, and weekend batch also you can join, and weekdays morning and evening batch also you can join. That is your wish. Okay, so that you can complete your 5-in-1 Firewall combo within 1.5 months. Sorry, 2.5 months. If you are joining multiple uh, batches, but is that not? But that is not a recommendable from my side. But your wishes. Okay, fine, guys. So in this 5-in-1 Firewall combo, so these are all the vendor products we are going to cover, guys. 5 firewall products we are going to cover. Okay, so let me give. In this 5-in-1 Firewall combo, we are going to cover Cisco product. In Cisco, we are going to cover two products. Cisco is a single vendor, which we are going to cover two products. One is Cisco ASA firewall and traditional firewall, and another one is Cisco Firepower. Okay, Firepower's threat defense (FTD). It's a next gen Cisco next generation firewall product, one of the um, widely used next generation firewall of Cisco product is Cisco FTD. Firepower Threat Defense is the full name of that firewall. Okay, so some of in industry, some of them they call it as a firepower devices. Okay, so don't get confused. So FTD or firepower, right? They are calling same the device. Okay, so and these two products are from Cisco vendor. Okay, and after that we are going to we are covering on Palo Alto products, Palo Alto firewall, and this is from Palo Alto Networks, and this is the one of the famous and widely used. All these four firewalls are widely used next generation firewall in industry. Okay, and topmost firewalls are okay. So Palo Alto and FortiGates are market. All these four products are market leader only, but Palo Alto is in the first place and FortiGate is in the second place and Cisco in third place, so Checkpoint in the third place and Cisco in a fourth place. Okay, so these I mean, uh, Palo Alto and FortiGate have huge uh, competition, guys. They will be frequently Palo Alto one I mean first quarter of my year they will be first position. So I'll tell you why I'm saying what is the position and first place, how I'm saying that. So there is one report called Gartner Magic. So those who do survey with the technical firewall technologies, okay, they're not only taking a survey with the uh, network security related product performance, they are also having application related, they're taking a survey application and some other things. Okay, but this is a famous one of the famous survey, those who take the performance of the devices and the cost for, I mean, they will take a survey based on the performance of the device, performance of the usage, I mean user, uh, number of sold out products, usability, and then cost performance for the cost, right? So cost effective or not, right? So all the aspect they will take a survey from the users, okay, general users, and based on that they will send a report for every quarter of the year, guys. Okay, so that we I'll show you, guys. Are you able to hear me, right? Shailesh, try to reconnect. Others can able to hear me. Shailesh, please try to reconnect. Yeah, thank you. Just a minute, guys. Yeah, thank you, guys. Okay, so I'll show you while taking that. While discuss about the firewall concepts. So I'll show you that report. So where they will consider some of the user durability and then cost effective of that product, right? So all those aspects they will take a survey and we and after that they will generate some report based on the maximum criteria, so which is coming as a first products they will list out, guys. Okay, so all the time, okay, so all these four firewalls, okay, I can see that they are in a market leader position. Okay, so and Palo Alto and FortiGate frequently change their position. So in past one decade, Palo Alto is the first place. It's in a first place. So as a market leader, okay, and FortiGate and a second place as a market leader, and right and Checkpoint as a third place. But now past few years, 1 or 2 years, right? So I could see Palo Alto and FortiGate, keep on changing their position. If so, previous quarter, previous report, FortiGate is in the first place, and this quarter Palo Alto in a first place. Like that, it's changed. Okay, so but still they are a good. Their products are good valued products and widely used product, maximum sold out of products, and the industry. So if you go any of infrastructure, you could see any one of in this four firewall, you could see in your industry. Okay, so in your infrastructure, you could see at least two of this product. Palo Alto or FTD or Palo Alto FortiGate or FortiGate with Palo Alto or Checkpoint or FortiGate with Checkpoint or FortiGate with Firepower. At least minimum two devices. The reason the vendors or clients, they will use multiple firewall product. Why they are using a multiple firewall product in industry, that I'll tell you what is the reason. Okay, it's totally depends on the cost and depends on their infrastructure size, and depends on their usage, right? So what kind of application they are going to, what kind of service they are going to provide, what kind of application they are using it. So depends on all, how many users are they have, right? So depends on their usage. So they will have a multiple products and they will use in a multiple scenario each of products. Okay, so what are all that we will discuss in a in our live sessions one by one. So everything we will not able to discuss here, but I'll try to give you what is the reason why they are using a multiple products in our demo session. And before because I mean so that only you can able to understand why we need to learn multiple vendor products. Okay, so okay guys, so these five products we are covering in our 5-in-1 firewall combo, guys. So this totally depends on the product based training, guys. Okay, so and also after completion of this 5-in-1 firewall training program, you can go, if you're looking for a global certification, right? You can go for in Palo Alto, there are two type of certification you can write. Okay, so a PCNSA and PCNSA, guys. So PCNSA, it's a administrative level exam. Okay, so where you are going to learn Palo Alto products to manage in a daily activities, like deploy your Palo Alto firewall and then taking a backup, restore, right? So configure your Palo Alto firewall, like security policy creation, NAT, and security profiles. You can able to configure, right? And you can manage for the day-to-day activities in your Palo Alto firewall, but you're not going to learn advanced topic like troubleshooting and some other products we have in a Palo Alto. Okay, so this is mainly focusing Palo Alto firewall. PCNSA, it's an administrative level where where you are going to learn, configure and deploy, manage your Palo Alto firewall only. Okay, and you're not going to have a knowledge of troubleshooting on this in this syllabus. Okay, and we have a next level, which is advanced level of training in a Palo Alto side. So that is PCNSE. Okay, so let me PCNSA. So if you want to go for a PCNSA certification, and as per the Palo Alto training, if you want to go for a PCNSA certification, and if you want to get trained from Palo Alto networks, and they will teach you, or they will guide you this syllabus, as per this syllabus. Okay, so this is the paper you have to learn to go for a PCNSA certification. This is the syllabus which is followed by Palo Alto side. Okay, so that is called EDU 210. Okay, so EDU 210 is the paper where you are going to learn your PCNSA training program. So if you go for a PCNSA certification, you should get trained on this EDU 210 paper. Okay, so which is totally configure. I mean, which is totally talk about the configuration and management of your Palo Alto firewall, not troubleshooting. Okay, so and then so if you go for a advanced level, next level of training, or if you want to go for a certification PCNSE, and you there is no prerequisites to go for a PCNSE certification, you should complete PCNSE, not like that. Okay, so you are having a knowledge of Palo Alto firewall product, you can eligible. to write a PCNSE certification directly, and the cost for certification, either PCNSA if you are preferring or PCNSE if you are preferring, the cost for each certificate is 180 USD, guys. 180 USD. So better to, from my side, I can suggest you you can go directly PCNSE certification. Okay, why should the validity of the certification is 2 years. So after that, you have to renew, either renew your certification or you have to go for some other product training in a Palo Alto to renew your certifications. Okay, so from my side, I can say you can just directly go with PCNSA because there is no prerequisites to complete PCNSA. Okay, so you can directly, we are going to teach you up to PCNSE in this firewall training program. So you are, if you're planning to write a certification, if you're planning to get a certification in a Palo Alto, so you can go with a PCNSE certification, guys. Okay, okay, guys. So in PCNSE, if you want to go for, if you want to get PCNSE certification as per the Palo Alto syllabus, you have to complete EDU 210 paper. Along with that, you have to complete another two papers, which is called EDU 220 and EDU 230, EDU 330. Okay, so EDU 210, which is totally focusing Palo Alto firewall, PA firewall, Palo Alto. Okay, and then EDU 220, which is talk about another product which is available in Palo Alto firewall, that is called Panorama. Guys, can you hear me now? Guys, can you hear me now? I'm really sorry. It's due to electricity issue. It's disconnected. Yeah. I hope now everyone able to hear me and my screen is visible to everyone. I'm really sorry, guys. So there is no, I mean, there is a drop with the electricity. So that's the reason it's disconnected. Okay, fine. So where we left, we were discuss about the Palo Alto paper, right? So Palo Alto EDU 210, which is talk about Palo Alto firewall. And if you want to go for a PCNSE certification, that you have to go for another two along with the EDU 210, and you need to go for EDU 220 and EDU 330. EDU 220, which is talk about the centralized management device Panorama. Okay, Panorama. So Panorama, it's a device which is Palo Alto product, which is also one of the Palo Alto products, to where you can manage multiple Palo Alto firewall under one roof. Let's say if you have 100 branches in your okay, if you have 100 branches companies, like let's say one branch in US, one branch in UK, one branch in Delhi or India, okay, right? And like that, if you have a multiple branches, okay, so and headquarters we have in a UAE, right? So all these branches, I'm having a Palo Alto firewall, US Palo Alto firewall, UK Palo Alto firewall, in a perimeter firewall I have it. Okay, so all this firewall I want to manage under one roof. So I want to manage from one roof. You can have a solution called Panorama. So this Panorama, it's a centralized management device. So where you can sit front of your panorama, and you can manage all your Palo Alto firewalls, and you no need to do it multiple times. The same task. Let's say I want to. There is a security patch update. Okay, so it's which is related, which is released from the Palo Alto side, or there is a license upgradation. I need to do it. Okay, so in that scenario, in all my 100 branches, if I'm not having a panorama, I need to go each and every branches perimeter firewall, which is Palo Alto firewall. So I need to go inside that firewall. I need to do the same task. I need to upgrade my license, or I need to upgrade, I need to update the patch, security patch updates or operating system updates, right? So I need to upgrade manually. I need to do it. So let's say I have 100 branches. All this 100 branches, I have a firewall, Palo Alto firewall. So the same task, which is upgrading patch update, or operating system, or uh, upload upload the licenses, right? So update the license. So the same task I need to do 100 times. So where I don't have a panorama, so same task individually I need to do it for each and every devices. Okay, so individually I need to do for each and every devices, guys. So the same task I'm going to perform 100 times. But if I have a panorama, all these 100 firewalls, if it is integrated with my panorama, the same task I can initiate it only once. Okay. So you can do it a single time. Okay. All these Palo Alto firewalls will be updated, operating system update or patch update or license upgradation, or right. So everything it can done by single step. Okay. Within a only one time I'm going to initiate that process. Or if I want to create some of the policy in any individual firewall, or any group of firewall common security policies, or I just want to create some common object for all the my 100 branches. So everything I can manage under one roof. So instead of doing multiple times, only once I can initiate, and it will be updated for all my 100 branches of firewalls within the same time. So because of that, there is no need of, there is no necessity to you taking a huge time to manage your product, right? So time will be reduced, manpower will be reduced. Okay, and I can manage sit from my panorama. I can manage all this 100 firewalls. I can monitor all the 100 firewalls under one roof, guys. Okay, so that is the advantage of panorama. So more about, right now I just give an introduction to the panorama. More about that panorama, more use cases we will discuss in the upcoming live session, guys. Okay, so EDU2, as of now, you have to know what is EDU 220 paper. EDU 220 paper, which is talk about the panorama. So if it is, what is mean by panorama? Panorama, it's a centralized management device where you can manage your Palo Alto firewalls under one roof, multiple Palo Alto firewall under one roof. Okay, so and EDU 330, which is talk about the troubleshooting. So how to if you're getting some issue, right? So when you're writing some security policies or security profiles, or when you're trying to use to next generation firewall features like application control, URL filter, file blocking. So if you're having any issue, configuration related issue, protocol related issue, or hardware related issue, or uh, any hardware related issue, or if you need any support from the Palo Alto vendor side, right? So how to, in a troubleshooting paper, we are going to see what is the packet flow of your Palo Alto firewall, how the Palo Alto is processing the packets, and how to troubleshoot your, if you're getting one ticket, what are the methodology you have to follow to troubleshoot, right? And if it is a software related issue, I mean the configuration related issue or protocol related issue, how to fix it. And if it is a hardware related issue, how to approach the Palo Alto hardware team for a warranty guarantee or hardware related queries, right? How to raise the ticket to from your how to raise the ticket on Palo Alto tag account, right? Palo Alto side, right? How to register your product, how to create a Palo Alto tag account, how to manage multiple product under Palo Alto tag account, how to upgrade the licenses, right? All those stuffs we'll see under EDU 330 paper, guys. Along with that, troubleshooting methodology and how to generate the report from the before troubleshoot the ticket and after troubleshoot the ticket, how to generate the report, what are the aspect we have to use it or right, so to create a report to the clients, right, all those stuffs we will discuss under EDU 330 paper, guys. Okay, so if you go for a if you want to get a certification on PCNSE, then you have to complete all these training program. Yeah, EDU 210 or EDU 220 and EDU 330 paper, guys. Clear? So our curriculum, which is include in Palo Alto, PCNSA, PC plus PCNSE both. So here you are going to learn Palo Alto Firewall and Panorama both, and along with troubleshooting. Okay, so all these three papers will be covered, guys. Okay, and in FortiGate, after in this 5in1 Firewall combo, we are covering FortiGate Firewall as well. In FortiGate, we are covering up to NSE4. The training level is NSE4, Network Security Expert Level 4. Uh, okay, so if you want to go for a NSE4 certification, it's such a costly certification in this firewall branch, guys. Okay, you have to spend 400 USD for to get NSE4 certification. If you have a knowledge of FortiGate firewall, you are eligible to write NSE4 certification, and there is no prerequisites to create write NSE4 certification. Okay, you can directly write NSE4 certification as a professional. Okay, so the prerequisites is you should have a knowledge of FortiGate firewall. Along to learn this FortiGate firewall or Palo Alto firewall prerequisites, you should have a fundamental networking knowledge like CCNA level of knowledge or CompTIA N plus level of knowledge is must to learn these firewall products. Okay, guys. So NSE4, if you want to go for a NSE4 certification, in how we have a in a Palo Alto environment, what are the papers we have to go for a PCNSA and PCNSE. The same way, there are two papers. If you want to get trained NSE4 in a FortiGate side, you have to complete two paper trainings. Okay, so one is FortiGate security, another one is FortiGate infrastructure, which is talk about which is talk about the FortiGate firewall only. Okay, but so some of the topics comes under the say what about the basic like security, FortiGate security, where you are going to learn what is FortiGate firewall, how to create a security policy, what is security profiles, and how to implement NAT, how, right? All those stuffs which is comes under the FortiGate security and your SSL VPN, right? So that and all we are going to learn in a FortiGate security paper, and FortiGate infrastructure paper, you're going to learn IPsec VPN, and then you're going to learn high availability. You're going to learn route, how to configure routing protocols in your FortiGate firewall and virtual domain. I'll tell you what is VDOM. So VDOM, it's a logical like you can compare VDOM with a VLAN. So what is VLAN? So in a physical LAN, single LAN network or say single switch, we want to connect multiple private network, multiple LAN, then you have to logically split as a one single switch as a multiple VLAN, right? The same virtual LAN, right? The similar if you created VLAN, each and every VLAN will be treated as a different individual switch. Logically, it is an act like an individual switch or individual LAN, right? So the same way you can split your physical hardwares as a multiple logical firewalls. Okay, so single physical firewalls you can split as a multiple logical firewall. Each logical firewalls are called VDOM. This concept is called VDOM in FortiGate. This concept is called VSys in Palo Alto virtual system. Okay, so that and all you are going to learn under in FortiGate infrastructure. So I'll lot to show. I'll show you in a while discuss about this curriculum. Okay, I'll share that curriculum uh, documents for you your reference as well, guys. Okay, and then in So we in our training program we are covering up to NSC 4. Okay, both FortiGate security and FortiGate infrastructure. Okay, and checkpoint. Next, we are going to give you the checkpoint firewall as a compo. And right, so in the checkpoint, there are similar to Palo Alto, there are two type of certification program. Okay, CCSA, checkpoint certified security associate, right, and then checkpoint security certified security expert. Okay, so here, if you want to go for a CCSC, you must complete CCSA here. Prerequisites to go for a CCSC, you must complete CCSC here, guys. Okay, so it's a 300 USD checkpoint certification cost is almost 300 USD. CCSA is 300 USD and CCSC 300 USD. Okay, USD. Okay, guys. So if here checkpoint only still they're having their prerequisites. If you go for a CCSC, then you have to complete CCSC. SA first. Okay, it's a administrative level where you are going to learn your checkpoint firewall to manage your checkpoint firewall. Like you are going to understand what are all the type of architecture, what are the deployment options available in checkpoint, how to deploy two different architecture, right? How to what are the role checkpoint Gaia operating system can support, right? All those stuffs you are going to learn, and how to create a policy, uh, how to create object in checkpoint, how to implement NAT, right? How to use your next generation firewall features like application control, URL filter, file blocking. That and all you are going to learn under CCSA. And under CCSE, uh, along with CCSA topic, you are going to learn additionally IP, VPN, IPsec VPN, SSL VPN, high availability, and then you're going to learn how to upgrade the licenses, update the operating system, patch update, right? So and then backup and restore backup and restore, backup concept and restore, you are going to learn under CCSA. Okay, but CCSC license upgradation, patch upgradation, operating system upgradation, and then high availability and VPN topics, and then and you are going to learn more about troubleshooting here, troubleshooting and CLI scripts. You are going to learn advanced CLI scripts. You are going to learn under CCSC in checkpoint, guys. Okay, so I'll show you the full course curriculum. I'll give you full course curriculum for your reference. Okay, so you can refer it, guys. So in other in Cisco, and I'm not talk about previously, I'm not talk about Cisco AS and Cisco FTD, right? Because there is no special certification program only for these two products, because this is comes under the Cisco certification track. So Cisco certification track, which is not uh, depend on the product wise. If you go for a Cisco certification, either you need to go for a CCNA. If and then after that, if you go for a in security domain, if you want to focus, you can get certification on CCNP security certified engineer, or you can go for a CCIE. Okay, these two certification, it's depends on in these two certification program, you have to learn more than 8+ products. Okay, not only specific these two products. Okay, so that's the reason they're not having, this is the Cisco certification track approach. You don't have any specific certification on in these two individual products. Okay, but if you're already in a Cisco certification track in a security domain, if you are already completed Cisco S core CCNP S core exam, okay, so which is foundation to go for a CCIE certification, CCIE lab, security lab, or CCNP certification. Okay, if you want to become a CCNP security certified engineer, and you must complete this core concept theoretical exam. Okay, and after that, if you want to get CCNP certificate, or if right, So if you want to get CCNP certificate, or if you want to become a CCNP security certified engineer, you should create you should write one more exam as your specialized examination. All right, so you can have options to choose in this almost 10 plus products you are going to learn in a security product in a Cisco. So you have options to choose any two of your products. So there are different type of papers for each product. So by learning this Cisco ASA and Cisco FTD firewall, you have options to choose the next generation firewall specialist certification program. Okay, so just like your uh, sorry, concentration paper, you can choose next generation firewall specialist training program, and in that training program you are going to learn Cisco ASA and Cisco FTD firewall. Okay, so if you're already if you're already a escort certified engineer, and you are eligible to write after completion of these two products, from our side you are eligible to write Cisco Next Generation Firewall Specialized Certification Program. And if you are past that examination, you will become a CCNP certified security certified engineer. CCNP certified sec security certified engineer, guys. Okay, so only Cisco products only, they don't have any specific product based certification. Okay, so that's the reason I'm not mentioned that. But in these two products, you are going to learn almost the CCNP security. These two products I'm going to cover CCNP to CCIE security concepts, which is available on these two products. So you are going to learn fully these two products. Okay. So like how we are covering end to end from the beginning to expert level in a Paloalto and FortiGate and Checkpoint, the same way from the beginning to expert level we are going to cover in Cisco ASA and Cisco FTD product, guys. Okay. So firepower threat defense product. Okay, guys. So these are all the curriculum which we are going to use in this our 5in1 Firewall training program. Okay, so you are after completion of this 5in1 Firewall training program, you are eligible to write PCNSA, PCNSE certification. You are eligible to write NSE4 certification. You are eligible to write CCSA and CCSE certification. Okay, and you are eligible to write next generation firewall specialized certification. Okay, so you will for CCNP track. Okay, so these are all the certification you can go after completion of this training program, guys. So then, what is the advantage? Why I need to learn these five firewall products? I can learn any one of the products. Yes, you can learn any one of the products. The learning of these technical courses to get the purpose of learning these technical courses to get better job opportunities, right? And better hike, right? So for that purpose only, right? So if you go for any job portal, right? So you can just look at the networking and network security related uh, designation. You can just check the roles and responsibility of any job portal post, right? Right, so they will ask you to learn the employer will ask the people who can able to manage multiple products. So the reason why they are taking a project from some other clients, their clients may have multiple firewall products. Okay, so they may have a Palo Alto firewall. They may have a fire. One client, let's say, from my side, we are giving a support. We are giving a support, right? So from my side, my clients in their infrastructure. So one of the client they're using a Palo Alto plus Panorama. Okay, and then they're using a FortiGate as well. Their infrastructure itself. Okay, actually it's not a big enterprise network, right? So mid-level of network only, but I'm just giving you one example, guys. Okay, they also have a still they also have a ASA, one client. Okay, so right, and then another clients they have a FortiGate, Cisco FTD, and Palo Alto as well. Okay, so now if I know if I having a knowledge of only Palo Alto, I'm not able to give a support to the other client who, I mean, inside the same client who have FortiGate and FTD, who have ASA. Okay, so I'm not having that knowledge. So the vendors, right? What I have to do, I have to recruit one more people who know this FortiGate FTD. Okay, so who know this FortiGate or who know this ASA. So I need to take multiple people. Okay, so whereas I have to, let's say, to provide the support to my clients, so they're having a Palo Alto, FortiGate, FTD, and checkpoint. Let's say checkpoint. Okay, so in this scenario, if people they know only checkpoint, if the people they know only Palo Alto, I need to recruit one guy, right? So the people only know FortiGate. So I have to recruit almost 4 to 5 people separately to know those who know only that individual products. Okay, as an employer, I am not ready to pay, right? Instead of paying 5 people's, right? So I can get one employee who can able to manage all these products, right? I can give a better salary to him instead of giving a 5% salary, right? I can give 3% salary to him, 3 times better salary to him, and I can recruit him, right? As an employer, I get advantage, so I can reduce 2 employers, right? Even though instead of 5 employees, I can reduce to I can recruit one single employee, and I can reduce 3 employee almost. Okay, he can do all this job. So this is what an industry wants. Okay, so that's the reason. And apart from that, and you cannot force the clients. So I can able to give a support on Palo Alto, I can able to give a support on FortiGate. I have a team who can manage Palo Alto and FortiGate. Please approach for the another team for your support, like for FTD. We don't have that employees, not like that, right? So then your project will, you are going to lose your projects, your clients, I mean your company. I'm just giving an idea, I mean, I'm just saying the fact. Okay, so so that's the reason employers nowadays want the people who can manage multiple products. If you go for an entry level job, like, right? So for that as well, so like routing switching also, they are demanding for the firewall products. Okay, so if you go for a for job portal and you can just verify that, you can able to understand. So this is this is what industry wants from the employees, guys. Okay, so if you know multiple products, you can, as a single person, you can replace 3 employees, and you can get 3 times better the job salary from them. They, if you're master in that product, employers are ready to pay you. Okay, that's the fact, guys. Okay, and learning of this firewall products, it's just like a foundation for your cyber security domain. Okay, so you are not only going, you are not, you can become a network security engineer, you can become a network security architect, or you can become a, right? So learning of this 5 firewall products, you can just architect, you can design your network security I mean, you can you can able to design your, sorry guys, you can able to design your network infrastructure security concepts, right? And guys, can you hear me? Sorry, so I don't know why so frequently power is disconnected. I have a backup, but still, since it's coming back, it's disconnecting. I hope I'm audible. Guys, can you hear me? Yeah, thank you guys. Okay, so the advantage of learning these firewall products, right? So it will expand your job opportunities where you're when you go for an interview. So if you know only Palo Alto, right? So there is a job opening for checkpoint in their infrastructure. They have a checkpoint as well, FortiGate as well, right? And if you know only Palo Alto, right, you're not able to you're not able to go for that interview, right? So, if you have a knowledge of Palo Alto or multiple products, so you can go for a opening for Checkpoint or Palo Alto or FortiGate. Likewise, it will increase your job opportunities, guys. So when you okay, so that is the one of the major advantage of learning these firewall products, and then you can compete your, let's say, for both the position, one guy, you and another guy competing, right? So let's say you are going for a so and so a position interview, and another guy also there. Okay, you two guys are almost final stage. Okay, you know Palo Alto and Checkpoint, right? And another guy, he knows multi, or you know only Palo Alto. Another guy, he knows Palo Alto, Checkpoint, FortiGate, other firewall products. Okay, so you performed in your interview, you performed well, and that guy also performed well. Okay, so who can get the job, guys? So interviewer or employers always prefer the people who knows multiple products, because in future also he can be a asset of their company. Okay, like because you know only Palo Alto, but he knows other more than two three firewall products. Okay, so in future if they are getting any new projects. Okay, so in that project, maybe that particular product may be and different product which he knows, we that kind of product project we may get. So in that scenario, we can use him as a future asset, right? So in that aspect only companies or recruiters will think, and they will ready to take a people who can manage multiple products. Okay, that is the reason. So that is the reason I mentioned here increased employability and competitive advantage. Okay, and then if you know, if you're able to manage multiple vendor product in future, your company in uh, any upgradation or new type of project, new type of product, it's coming for the as a new project. In that case, you're if you're already have some knowledge on multiple vendor product, so you can easily adapt that environment, and you're ready to learn other products. So this is also one of the aspect the employers will think. Okay, and then advanced career opportunity, you will become expert of that multiple vendor product, so you can become a product manager, you can become a technical leaders, you can become an architect, right? And you can become a consultant as well. You can create your own firm, right? So a lot of the opportunity you have, guys. Okay, so this is the benefit of learning multiple vendor products. And okay, sorry guys. So these are all the opportunity you are going to have when you're getting a knowledge of multiple vendor products. You no need to become a certified engineer of all these products. Okay, certification, the employer always not demanding for the certification. You should have a knowledge of that products. Definitely it will give you back. Okay, okay guys. So fine. So these are the products we are going to learn in this five firewall products. So another uh, okay, let me explain this. What are all the version of that product we are going to learn here? Okay, in Palo Alto, we are going to learn up to PCNSE, PCNSA, and PCNSE. And for this training, Palo Alto 10 dot operating system and 11 Palo Alto 11 dot X operating system is the latest operating system which we are going to use it. Okay, so 10.x and 11.x both we are going to use. And Panorama, it's pan operating system only, and again that is a 10.x or 11.x, both we will use it. Okay, and NSE4 FortiGate NSE4, actually right now we are using 7 point. Okay, so 7.4, it's a latest version, so we will use both 6 and 7, both we will use for the learning purpose. Okay, and in Checkpoint 81 80 and 81.x is the latest version. We'll use 80 and 81, both will use our training program. Okay, and Cisco Firepower 7 point the 7.x is the latest version. Yeah. Here in Cisco, and I forget to mention that there itself in Firepower we are going to learn one more product. FTD is a firewall, firepower threat defense next generation firewall of Cisco product. And along with that, you are going to learn one more product called FMC. FMC, it's similar to Palo Alto Panorama, centralized management device of firepower devices. Okay, FTD, right? So if you can manage multiple FTD firewalls under one roof by using FMC. It's similar to Panorama, centralized management device, guys. Okay, so here you are going to learn five firewall products plus two management products. Almost seven products you are going to learn in this 5-in-1 firewall training program. Okay, and along with that, so you, under Windows Server, we are going to deploy Active Directory services and DNS servers services. Okay, so just ignore this product. It's a common thing. Okay, in this compo, we are covering totally seven products. Okay, so 5-in-1 firewall compo, five firewall products, two management products, totally seven products you are going to learn in this 5-in-1 firewall compo, guys. Okay, clear? Okay, guys. So let me show you the curriculum of each products. I don't want to explain here. So if I start to explain, I'll take another 1 or 2.5 hours to explain the curriculum itself. Okay. So I just give you the brief information in this curriculum, and I'll share this curriculum for your reference. Along with that, course curriculum discussion, previous session recorded videos, I'll share with you guys. So where I have explained what is this each topic, what are the things we are going to learn, that I have already discussed. Okay, I'll share with you guys so you can refer it. So in Palo Alto, I told you, right, so there are three papers you to go for a PCNSE certification, right? So from module 1 to module 11, okay, which is talk about Palo Alto firewall. Module 1 to module 11, which is talk about the Palo Alto firewall. Okay, so that is EDU 210 paper. Whatever you are going to learn in EDU 210 paper, that is module 1 to module 11. Okay, and module 12, which is talk about Panorama. So you know what is Panorama? That is Panorama. It's a EDU 220 paper. Okay, module 12. Okay, module 13, which is talk about troubleshooting, how what are what are the how to troubleshoot, how to capture the packet, what are the troubleshooting methodology, how to generate the report, troubleshooting report, and how to raise the ticket from Palo Alto TAC, right? How to get for the hardware related issues, right? How to approach hardware related issues on Palo Alto, right? All those steps we will discuss. So which is talk about EDU 330 paper. Okay, so from module 1 to 11, which is talk about EDU 210 paper, and module 12, which is talk about EDU 220 paper, module 13, which is talk about EDU 330 paper, guys. Okay, so module 14, it's about exam preparation. If you want to get a certification by your right, how to prepare yourself, what are the topics you have to focus, and how to register your examination, all those steps I'll explain you in this model 14, guys. Okay, clear? So here model 1 will, so majorly you in depth I don't want to discuss now. So model 1, platform and architecture, you're going to learn what is the architecture we are using in a Palo Alto use to process the packet, and what is the advantage of that architecture. The architecture name is called SP3 architecture. Okay, so single pass parallel processing, SP3 architecture. So advantage of this SP3 architecture, why Palo Alto can perform more than any other firewall, maximum throughput, how it is at achieve more than any other firewall products, right? So that and all we'll discuss under platform and architecture. We will discuss about the architecture. Okay. And Palo to support the physical hardware, virtual machines, right? So all this, each and every module, and then data sheet of each and every module, we will discuss on that module one. Module two, which is talk about the device management, where you are going to learn how to access your Palo Alto firewall very first time through CLI, GUI console, and to by taking a telnet or SSH, by taking a quick console access through browser, right? And then how to take a backup, restore, what are the type of configuration files we have, right? um, how to upgrade, right? All those stuffs we'll discuss under device management, guys. Okay, and high availability, right? So all the stuffs comes under the device management. Okay, how to create a multiple administrator user account, what are the privileges of each administrator, and how to create a customized privilege to the each administrators, right? So everything we'll discuss under device management. Module three, which is talk about the deployment option. So you can deploy your Palo Alto firewall in a 5 different ways. Your Palo Alto firewall data interfaces in a 5 different ways. So layer 3, layer 2, layer 3 means you can deploy as a L3 device. So which means it can run, which can perform routing, NAT, VPN, right? So all L3 functionalities it can. And layer 2 means it can act like a firewall with all L3 functionalities when you're deploying layer 3 interface deployment. Okay, when you're deploying as a layer 2 interface which act like a switch along with firewall, you can filter layer 3 to layer 7 filters. It will act like a firewall plus switching environment. You can deploy as a switch as well, which will support the uh, VLAN or switching console, right? And virtual wire will not it doesn't work as a L3 device or L2 device. Okay, it's just like a, you can say, virtual wire. It's just like a bridge, but it's not exactly bridge, which cannot which is not supporting IP address and layer 2 functions. Okay, so you but it can use as a firewall. You can filter the firewall. I mean, you can use the as a firewall from L3 to L7 filters. You can use it. IP wise filter, you can use it. Service wise filter, you can use it. Application wise filter, you can use it, right? But it will not having any IP address on this interface, or it will not work a L2 interface, L3 interface. It will not support routing. It will not support VPN. It will not support right, any L3 functionalities. Okay, and how it is working as a firewall, and how what is the where and which use case we have to deploy your Palo Alto firewall as a virtual wire, and what is the benefit of this deployment option, we will discuss in an upcoming live session. So when you have a multiple firewall products, and if you want to give any specific roles in that scenario, you can use your Palo Alto firewall as a L3. You have a L3 firewall or L3 device. I don't want to use this firewall as a L3 functionality device or gateway devices, but still I want to use this firewall for filtering the traffic in my existing network. So without changing your any changes on your existing network, you can deploy your Palo Alto firewall as virtual wire. So lot of the advantage we have when you're deploying your Palo Alto firewall as a virtual wire. So deeply we will discuss in the upcoming session, guys. Okay, and for high available in Palo Alto, high availability to dep to perform your high availability, if you want to enable high availability on your production network, so between two Palo Alto firewalls, you need to provide a reachable connectivity between two Palo Alto firewalls, and it's not a single connectivity. You should provide pair of interfaces to achieve the high availability. Okay, so in that scenario, some of the physical hardware units don't have a some of the high-end model, they have a dedicated HA interfaces. You can use that interfaces, but some of the lower end hardware models, they have only one HA interfaces, and another interface you need to achieve the high availability purpose. So in that scenario, you can use your Palo Alto data interfaces, any one of the data interface, as a HA interface. You can deploy that interface as a HA interface. Okay, so uh, and how to use this interface as a HA, how to enable, right? So that and all we'll discuss in upcoming session, guys. So tab deployment, I want to use my Palo Alto firewall to analyze my live traffic, but I don't want to use the Palo Alto firewall to take action. Like, you can use your Palo Alto as IDS. And virtual wire deployment, you can use your Palo Alto firewall as IPS along with firewalling functionalities. L3 to L7 filters. It can able to detect vulnerabilities, spyware, malware, anything, and it can able to take action against that when you're deploying your Palo Alto firewall as a virtual wire, and it will not make any changes in your existing network. But if your tab interface, you have to deploy your Palo Alto firewall outside of your network. It will not able to it will not able to detect, I mean, it can able to detect the vulnerabilities, but it will not able to take action against that vulnerabilities, and it will act like similar exactly as a IDS. So when you want to monitor your live traffic, and you can use this Palo Alto firewall as a tab interface. Okay, so it will get all the copy of your live traffic, and it will analysis, and it will send the report to the monitoring team, but it will not take any action against that vulnerabilities. Okay, so so all these five different type of deployment, we can able to do it in your Palo Alto firewall. Okay. And model 4, which is talk about the security policies and NAT, how to create a security policy to allow or deny some of the traffic based on the application wise, based on the IP address, based on the services, right? Based on the users, well, everything we can able to implement, and how to enable NAT. So you can you can do NAT with the source address stance. We are going to discuss with the three different type of NATs: source NAT and destination NAT and U-turn NAT. Okay, so when we have to implement source NAT, when we have to implement destination NAT, and what is the use case of U-turn NAT and how to implement. Okay, so everything we'll discuss under module 4. Module 5, which is talk about the application control, app ID. So if you want to block or allow any specific traffic based on the application, or let's say I don't want to allow my internal users to access any social networking related applications. So any type of social networking application, so in that case I can use category based application filter. I can block all the social networking application currently, whatever the application is available. In future also, some of the application may be launched for the social networking category, right? So that also will be automatically blocked. So when you're using a category based filter, so what is category based filters, how it is working, how to create a customized application filter, right? So everything we'll discuss under app ID features. So model 6, which is talk about the user ID. If you want to allow or deny the traffic, some of the specific traffic based on the users. Let's say in my production network, I have a two different team. One is sales team, another one is development team. Okay, so I want to allow some of the specific traffic. Let's say sales team, we need to allow to access the social networking applications, right, to promote our product. But technical team peoples, we don't need to allow that in outside internet access like social networking or any other thing. So whatever their specific application they need for their job purpose, so that specific application only we are going to allow. So in that case, those who are belongs to social networking, sorry, those who are belongs to sales team, I want to allow social networking access or any specific application access for set of you can create a rule for the set of access for user and user group based. Okay, so in that scenario, that and all we will discuss under user ID. So if you want to allow or deny some of the traffic for any specific user or any specific user groups, let's say a team wise, right? So that and all we can achieve under user ID filters in the model 6. Model 7, which is talk about the content ID. So if you want to block if you want to content ID, which is talk about the antivirus features, vulnerabilities, spyware, malware. If you want to detect, which is talk about IPS functionalities. So if you want to detect or prevent from the any vulnerability, spyware, malware, any virus, right? So anything you can inspect in your live traffic model 7, which is talk about how to inspect the live traffic against the vulnerability, spyware, malware, and how to detect that and how to prevent that your infrastructure by using vulnerability protection. So content ID we will discuss under module 7. Module 8, if you want to block or allow any specific websites, so that we will discuss under URL filter. It's almost similar to application control, but which is mainly focusing URLs. So URL filter website by, but when you're using application control, you can allow or deny any specific application. Let's say I just want to allow Facebook, but I don't want to allow inside the Facebook. We have a Facebook. It's a collaborated multi collaborated application, which is inside the Facebook. We have a multiple micro applications like call, video call, voice call, or messenger, or file sharing, right? So multiple applications we have it, right? So any micro application I want to control. Let's say I want to allow Facebook, but I don't want to inside the Facebook. I don't want to allow users to chat. Facebook chat, Facebook Messenger, I don't want to allow it. Facebook post, I don't want to allow it. Facebook gaming, I don't want to allow users to play, right? So micro level application controls we can achieve when you're using application control. Okay, so URL filter, it will block only specific URL whatever you have specified. It will try to block the traffic or allow the traffic based on the URL wise, not application, not service wise. Okay, so and I can, while doing a lab only, you can able to understand the difference between the application control and URL filter. Okay, okay, more or like it's similar, but application control have more granular control and more feature than URL filter. Okay, and this application filter is the one of the most famous and most specified reason why Palo Alto is market leader. First, still it is in a market leader. Palo Alto have a proper. The Palo Alto is the first product they introduce the application ID and application filters features, micro level features. Okay, so that's the reason, and they are well to do this process. Okay, so that's the reason they are still in a market leader, guys. Okay, and content ID we already discussed. URL filter we already discussed. So decryption. So when your production network received a encrypted traffic, so that encrypted traffic might be have infected by the virus, malware, spyware. Okay, the data. Okay, so encrypted traffic, if it is encrypted traffic, your firewall normally doesn't have a privilege to filter or monitor the traffic. Okay, so in this scenario, we have to decrypt the encrypted traffic and we have to analysis. Your firewall need to decrypt by itself and it need to analysis and then it will re-encrypt. So this process is called decryption. Okay, for that it is not happen by default. As a firewall administrator, we need to enable this decryption process. Okay, so how to enable, how to achieve this, we'll discuss under model 9. Model 10, which is talk about the global protect. Global protect, it's a application which is related to SSL VPN. It's a Palo Alto proprietary application. Okay, so it's a SSL VPN. So don't get confused. We don't have any option here. There is no mention of SSL application. Sorry, SSL VPN. It's SSL VPN only. Okay, so how to deploy your SSL VPN in FortiGate, sorry, Palo Alto firewall, and what is global product application, how to install this, how where from where you have to download, how to use this, right? Everything we will discuss under global product. And model 11, which is talk about the site to site VPN. Okay, so end to end from the basics to advanced level, we will discuss about the site to site VPN. And model 12, which is talk about panorama. So what is panorama and how to create, how to manage that panorama devices, what is device group, right? All those things we will discuss under model 12. Okay, model 13, it is talk about the troubleshooting. So along with the packet flow, along and then CLI troubleshooting tools and other, how to generate the report, troubleshooting methodology, how troubleshooting approach, all those things we'll discuss under module 3, guys. Okay, so this is the curriculum which we are following for Paloalto, entire Paloalto firewall product, which is include Paloalto PCNSE and PCNSE both, guys. Okay, the same way Fortinet. Okay, so okay, so in Fortinet module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, module 5, module 6, okay, module 7, module 8, which is talk about FortiGate security paper. There are two paper, right? FortiGate security, and FortiGate infrastructure, right? So these two paper, it is included in our curriculum. Okay, so module 1 to module 8, module 1 to 8, and then module 11 and module 11, 1 to 8, and module 11, which is FortiGate security paper, and then 9, module 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, which is talk about the FortiGate infrastructure paper. Okay, so so module 15, which is talk about exam preparation. Okay, so what is troubleshooting and all dedicated. We have a dedicated week for the troubleshooting purpose. Okay, so module 14 just talk about the troubleshooting. Module 13 just talk about the VDOMs. Module 12 talk about the SD-WAN. Okay, so in your FortiGate firewall, what is SD-WAN? What is the purpose of having SD-WAN? It's a automated WAN management technology. Okay, software defined WAN management technology when you have a where you have a multiple WAN connection in your production network. So how to check the WAN kind of WAN link quality, and if any link is goes down, how to redirect the traffic, right, automatically. So everything you are going to discuss under module 12. Okay, module 11 it says talk about IPsec VPN. Model 10 it routing, how to enable routing, static, default, and dynamic routing protocols in your FortiGate firewall, right? And high availability. Model 9 it's talk about the high availability web, the same thing. So URL filter, web filter, and application control, which is URL filter and content filter comes under the web filtering. Okay, so this is your model 6. Let's talk about the antivirus feature. I mean your IPS, how to use your antivirus and IPS functionalities to filter or to control that, monitor the traffic, right? So everything we'll discuss, guys. Okay, so for deep discussion about this each curriculum, each and every model, I'll share. It will come around one to 1.5 hour session. I'll share, as I mentioned previously. I'll share it, guys. Okay, I'll share it to you for your reference. You can, if you have a time, you can just go through that, guys. Okay, or you can just follow this curriculum document. Okay, so the same way, checkpoint, almost it have 11 modules. Okay, checkpoint, CCS, including with the CCSA and CCSC. Okay, each model are having huge huge models. Okay, so module module 1 to module 7 you are going to discuss under CCSA, sorry, model 6. 1 to model 1 to model 6 we are going to discuss under CCSA. Model 7 to model 11 we are going to discuss under CCSE certification, guys. Okay, so and then Cisco ASA, these are all the Cisco ASA curriculum. Okay, so where your Cisco ASA, it's a traditional ASA firewall where we don't have any application control, URL filter, file blocking, these features, because it's a traditional firewall which is not supporting all these features. Okay, so but still ASA firewall, it's used in industry for it because it's based in a SSL VPN and IPsec VPN, okay, and L3 and L4 filters. Okay, so some of the in industry, some of the are used ASA firewall. And to learn FTD firewall, ASA it's a fundamental. Okay, so in FTD firewall, you're having a different type of models like all this next generation firewall which is missed in a ASA that is available in FTD firewall. Along with that, if you are going to learn firepower manage FMC, firepower device management server. Okay, sorry, firepower management center. And FTD, it's an individual firewall you can manage it. FTDF, FDM, firepower device management. It's an application you have to install, or it's an a web browser. It's a console you can access your firepower FTD firewall by using this FDM manager. FDM. Okay. So I'll share this curriculum guys for your reference. So where you have application control, URL filter, file blocking, all those options is there, which you are going to learn all other firewall, all the next generation features we are going to learn here as well. Okay. Yes, as I mentioned, I'll share that recorded video for your reference. Okay. So, now, so that's all about the course curriculum, which is which is included in our 5-in-1 firewall training program. Okay. So the training for a lab access, right? So we are providing a virtual lab access. You can also access our lab setup. We also provide necessary tools and softwares. We are using it for access purpose. We are using 𝑭𝒊𝒓𝒄𝒂𝒍𝒍 tool. It's a emulated tool. Those who done your, if you have a knowledge of CCNA, right? So if you've done your CCNA, so you may aware of this tool, GNS3. While doing your CCNA or CCNP, you may aware of GNS3 tool. Okay, so it's an emulator, sorry, simulated tool where you can upload the image files of Cisco router and switches, and you can simulate your virtual network here, right? And 𝑭𝒊𝒓𝒄𝒂𝒍𝒍, it's an emulator. Here you're going to work with the real operating system of each and every devices. Let's say in Cisco, real iOS, you are going to virtual iOS, you are going to use it. And Paloalto real pan operating system, you are going to use it. Okay, so and then checkpoint Gaia operating system, we are going to use it, right? And similarly, all the exact virtual operating system of that products, we are going to use it by using this 𝑭𝒊𝒓𝒄𝒂𝒍𝒍 tool, and which is more easy and familiar, user friendly tool where you can create huge topologies, and you can simulate or emulate your entire virtual and your entire infrastructure guys in an industry. So before doing any implementation, they are using some virtualization tool to emulate their network, right? So one of the famous tool is 𝒊𝒐 and EXSI, right? So it's in a VMware virtualization operating system. And 𝒊𝒐, this is 𝒊𝒐, the the almost equivalent user-friendly application. Now industries are using this 𝒊𝒐 tool as well for the simulate for the network simulation purpose. Okay, so by learning this tool, obviously it will useful to your production network. And because we cannot implement all the features in a production network as it is, we think. Okay, so because the reason, so the production network, without testing your production network, if you're implementing directly in your production network, so that might affect your production network due to any configuration conflict. Okay, so whatever your live production network you have, that implementation already is tested by any one of this tool, 𝒊𝒐 or EXSI. Okay, but mostly nowadays this 𝒊𝒐 is replacing all those features. Okay, so one of the widely used tool in a production network as well before implementing the features into the live network. Okay, so better to have knowledge of this tool, will help you guys. Okay, and in here we are using this tool for our virtual lab access, and as well as I'll teach you how to create your own lab setup in your physical hardware laptop or desktop or your rack server if you have. So how to install this E1G tool and how to upload the image files and how the necessary tools and softwares, everything I'll give you, and I'll teach you how to set up your own lab setup. So that you can do your hands-on whenever you are availability, or if you don't have in hardware, right? So if you are not if you want to use our virtual lab setup, that's fine. We will provide the lab access. So you can use, you have to book your slot and you can use our lab access, guys. Okay, clear? And that cost for the training program is, those who want to join a 5-in-1 firewall training program, actual cost is 40,000. Now we are giving a 50% offer, so you can take this course for 20,000 rupees itself. And those who are looking for a 5-in-1 firewall combo, you can make your payment as a 3 installment. So right, you don't need to pay your training fee within a single installment. Okay, you can make your payment 3 installment as well. So first installment is a 50% of your course fee. So that is 10,000 rupees or 150 USD for abroad students. Okay, first installment 10K for INR. Okay, and you foreign students you have to pay 150 USD, guys. Okay, and after completion of your while joining this, you have to pay first installment while joining this course. And when you're after joining this, when you're completed your first firewall training program, when you're entered into the second firewall training program, that time you have to make your remaining second installment. In remaining 50%, you have to make 25%. So 5,000 INR or 80 USD. So okay, and then after completion of your second firewall and you enter into the third firewall, that time you have to make your remaining payment 5,000 INR or 75 USD for foreign students. Okay, okay, guys. So this is your installment option. So I don't want to go for a 5-in-1 firewall combo. I want to go with any individual firewall. So any individual firewall. So actual cost is 10,000. Right now, the same 50% offer is going on. So you can take this any individual firewall for 5,000 rupees. Okay. So or 80 USD for foreign students. Okay, so this is the fee structure, and there is no installment option for in individual firewalls. So if your only installment payment is available for those who take a 5-in-1 firewall combo. Okay, and due to upcoming New Year, New Year, we have a special offer. Okay, so those who want to take this 5-in-1 firewall combo, this offer is applicable only for 5-in-1 firewall combo. So if you are ready to make your, if you want to make your payment as a in single payment, right? So it's up to you. You can choose any choices. Okay, if you're ready to make your single payment, you will get extra 5,000 offer. Okay, and so so you can take this 5-in-1 firewall combo for in single installment. Single payment. You can take this 5-in-1 firewall combo for, right? So instead of 20,000, you can take this course for 15,000 itself. So additional 5,000 rupees you will get. And apart from that cost, you will get an additional benefit. The actual course duration is for 5-in-1 firewall combo is 5 months, 5 to 6 months it will take. So we will give a 1 year validity for this training program. So after completion of your 5-in-1 firewall combo, in this 1 year, you can do a number of re-attempts in this 5-in-1 firewall. So all next 6 months, if you want to do retake of any of this 5-in-1 firewall products or entire combo, you can take a retake any sessions. Okay, so for next 6 months. So totally the your course duration is 1 year. Normal scenario will provide. Okay, so those who willing to take a 5-in-1 firewall combo in a single payment option, you are going to get 5,000 extra offer, and additionally you will get 1 year extra validity for this course. So after completion of your training program, and you're going to have next 1.5 years. So in this next 1.5 years, you can, if you want to do retake of any of the firewall products or entire compo without paying anything, you can do re-attempts, guys. Main number of attempts you can go, and you don't need to pay for anything, guys. So this is the actual additional benefit you are going to get if you're ready to make your single payment. This is the special offer which we are giving for the new year purpose. Okay, so clear, guys. So lost, sorry, guys. Okay, so for your pay, I mean for your admission purpose or any further queries, if you want me to ask or if you want me to discuss, you can just ping me or you can call me on this number. Let me draw, let me drop that my contact number. You can just ping me in my WhatsApp, as well as you can call me as well. Okay, so any doubts, any queries or regarding admission, regarding current course or anything else, if you're already working somewhere else and you need some any support on the spiral products, right, you can just ping me. Okay, guys, so 9597818863, it's my contact number. You can just ping me. And the upcoming batch, we are going to start with Jan 3rd. We are going to start weekdays batch. So morning batch and evening batch we are going to start. This is the schedule. Okay. And Jan 3rd, 5in1 Firewall Combo also we are going to start. Okay. And the same morning batch we are going to schedule. Okay. And weekend batch, those who are looking for weekend batch, you can join on 6th September. Sorry, 6th Jan. Okay. So we are going to start a weekend batch, guys. Okay. So, sorry, guys. Any queries, guys? So do you have any queries as of now? So I want to give introduction session about those who are all very new to this firewall products. So as a demo, I'm planning to next 1 to 1.5 hour. I'm planning to discuss about the introduction to the firewall. So what is firewall? Where we are going to learn. We are going to discuss about the firewall. What is firewall? What are the type of firewall we have, and what is the benefit of having these, right? Having this firewall, and why we need a network firewall, right? So why we are learning everything, why we need to learn, that we already discussed. But what are the type of firewall we have, and what is the application or what is the use of that firewalls, we'll discuss here, guys. Okay, I told you, right? So I'll show you one Gartner magic report. So this is that. Okay, you can see that. Okay, so all the we have a n number of next generation firewall products in industry. Okay, but these four products are more standard and more successful products, more widely used. They're occupying more than 75 percentage of 70 to 75 percentage of the industry is occupied by these four firewall products only. Okay, if you go for any enterprise network, right? So out of five, four enterprise network, they will use any of these two products at least. Okay, so that much domination they have in a firewall industry. Okay, guys, so that's the reason, if you're learning this compo pack, you are going to get more opportunities, and as well as it your you can in the future as well, it will give you a strong foundation for your future career as well, guys, in a cyber security domain. Okay, and network security and cyber security domain. Okay, okay, guys. Okay, fine, start. Do you guys need any break before start this session? Okay. It will take another 1 to 1.5 hours, so up to 1 o'clock. as per the schedule. It will go for up to 1 o'clock. Okay, so you can take. Okay, guys, I'm going to use the same link. You can take uh you can take 10 minutes break. Okay, what is time? What is the time now? 11:40. So we'll be back 11:50. Okay, so 10 minutes break you can take. Okay, so we'll discuss about the firewall, introduction to the firewall. Okay, so I'm going to use the same link and I'm not going to stop my screen. I'm not going to end this meeting. I'll just leave it as it is and you can go, guys. We'll back around 11:50. Okay, so 11:52. Okay, 11:55. Okay, 10 minutes. You can take 10 minutes break. 11:55. We'll resume the session, guys. Okay, until I'll stop my recording. Okay, so now I'm going to take you the session like introduction to the firewall. Okay, so though this session will be very helpful to you guys, those who are very new to this firewall domain, right? So network security domain, right? So if you're not aware what is firewall, so or why we need to use this firewall, this session will be very helpful to you guys. Okay, so fine. So in this session, we are going to discuss what is firewall, what are the type of firewall we have, why we need to place the firewall in our production network, right? So what is the importance of the firewall, right? So everything we will discuss. Okay, let's start. So our introduction to the firewall. So before going to that, so can anyone tell me what is firewall, guys? So you can just share me your thoughts about firewall. What is firewall? Any idea? What is the purpose of having firewall? Anybody, guys? Yeah, ex yes, so firewall is a device to control to avoid to control and monitor the traffic, or you can say let me from my from my word I just want to explain what is my firewall. Okay, so firewall, it's a mechanism. It may be a hardware model, it may be running under a hardware, or it may be a VM, okay, which which help us to control and monitor the traffic. Okay, so which is doing control and monitoring the traffic. Firewall is doing two major roles. Okay, so it's controlling the traffic and monitoring the traffic. Okay, control and monitor the traffic. So what is control and what is monitor? Why we need to control the traffic and why we need to monitor? We already doing a controlling process, then why are allowed traffic, why we need to monitor the traffic, right? So that we are going to discuss now. Okay, so firewall, it may be a device running under a device, or it's a virtual machine. Firewall, it's an operating system. Firewall, it's having operating system which help us to control and monitor the traffic. So to avoid unauthorized access gaining in your production network, we'll use firewall to prevent our production network from unauthorized access gaining from the outside network, right? So that's what the firewall. Okay, so that is the definition for firewall. For my words, firewall, it's controlling the traffic and monitoring the traffic. It's simple keyword you can remember. So control, what is control? Okay, let's say why we need to control the traffic. Let me draw simple topology here. This is my production. Let's assume this is my simple network, just connected with a LAN switch and which is directly connected with L3 device. It's a router as of now, and it is connecting with the ISP internet. Okay, this is my simple network, right? So this is system A and this is system B, which is having 10.10 as a IP address, and this is having 10.20 as a IP address. Okay, so now okay, so in this scenario, simply my LAN users can able to access the internet. So I have implemented NAT in my router, right? So NAT is enabled. Okay, so they can able to access the internet, and here outside users also they are also connected with the internet, right? So in this scenario, it's a L3 device. I'm not having any router. Sorry, I'm not having any firewall. So in normal scenario, what will happen, guys? So your LAN users can able to access the internet. We have implemented NAT. Okay, and your LAN user system A, system B both, they can able to access the internet. So let's say in the internet we have some servers. Let's say this is FB server, Facebook, Google. Okay, just having 20.10 and this is 30.10 as your IP address slash 24 subnet. Okay, let's assume this is our infrastructure, right? So this is your in of your branch infrastructure. This is the internet. We no need to worry about the internet as of now. So our LAN users can able to access the internet, so they have a reachability. So now what will happen, guys? So if they have a reachability to the internet, then what they will do, let's say we are doing some project, so we are giving some support kind of project, let's say, so AirAsia projects like ticket booking, that customer support, the process which give the email support to the AirAsia ticket booking. Okay, so process, right? So now employee A and employee B, I mean the people who sitting under system A, he is a employee A and he is employee B. Employee A and B, their processes, they need to access, let's say instead of Google server, write down as a AirAsia web mail server. Okay, so these are all the client one for AirAsia. Okay, just a minute, guys. So it once again, it's guys, I'm audible now. So power Guys, guys, can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me now? Sorry, guys, power got disconnected. So I'm really sorry. So due to some maintenance activities here, it's frequently disconnecting, but I have a backup. So well, each and every disconnection, it's changing to from my Wi-Fi network to my mobile network. So that's the reason its disconnection has happened. Okay. So fine. So as of now, the scenario is our LAN users can able to access the internet and they are doing some support, mail support projects for Air Asia. Okay, so this is in internet. We have two kind of servers. One is Facebook and another one is Air Asia mail server. Okay, so and this person client one and client two, they are the clients. They clients of AirAsia, they are booking the tickets, right? While booking the tickets, they're having some issue and they have raised that mail ticket. I mean, they, they have raised complaints on their mail. So the mails are reached from internet to their AirAsia mail server. And as a support project, our employees are taking that project. So a mail support, they are giving it, right? So now they have to fetch that servers. Okay, so mail servers to fetch the client's mail and what is their complaint, what is the support they need to provide that support. They need to access that mail. So the employees need to access. They need a privilege and access to your that AirAsia mail server. So for that they need a internet reachability to reach AirAsia server, and they have an internet reachability. Okay, so they got the access. Everything is fine right now. Okay, so they are providing the support as well after fetching that mail and from the ticketing tool, and they are accessing and they are giving us a reply to the client's mail. So everything is going in a normal scenario, right? So now, of, apart from his job process and I mean his task, so he knows he can able to access the internet. First thing, right? So first scenario, he knows he can able to access the internet. So now what he will do? He can he try to access unnecessarily other services over the internet. So let's say he want to access the Facebook and Twitter, right? So all the both employees. In this scenario, what will happen, guys? In this scenario, what will happen? Internally, if they your internal employees, if they know they can able to access the internet other services over the internet apart from their uh, application job application, I mean their uh, service, they need access to do their job perspective, that application they can able to access it. But apart from that, another internet services they can able to access, right? So after knowing that, what they will do, guys, they will simply access the Facebook, Twitter, and they will try to download some of the mail I mean they try to download some applications and movies, videos, right? And then whatever they want to do it, and whatever they want to do it over the internet, they will try to do it, right? So because of that, what will happen? First thing, they will not focus on their job properly. No focus. So because of that, no productivity. No productivity, right? And second thing, so they're not focusing their job, so they're focusing some other activities. So because of that, the productivity is lost and also bandwidth wastage. I'll come back to the security perspective later. So yes, yeah, Mans. Yeah, Maddie. Okay, so I'll come back the security risk later. Okay, so apart from that security risk, bandwidth wastage, right? And third, so this router unnecessarily I'm giving a over workload, right? Because it is trying to establish multiple sessions for different services and applications, right? So unnecessarily it's because for your job perspective, that is fine, but it's unnecessary activities doing by your employees, right? So it's not big. regarding for your job, right? So his task, right? So unnecessary workload we are giving to your internal networks. Workload to your gateway device or router or anything, you can say your internal devices. Okay, so this is apart from the security risk. These are all the factors. So if you are simply allow your internal users inside internal users to access internet without having any restrictions, right? So because of that, these I mean, because of that, you're going to lose as an employee. You're going to lose. You're going to spend a lot of money for purchasing the bandwidth, or you're spending a lot of money to get. I mean, you're providing the salary, and if there is no productivity, you're going to lose your project from the clients, and and you're going to take a overtime to complete that project, right? So because of that, you'll need to pay. Your client will not ready to pay for that, so you need to pay your employee unnecessarily. So bandwidth wastage and budget wise, right? Financial waste, right? It's a lot of things is there inside, right? And apart from that, you can, so if you're ready to bear all those stuffs, but apart from that, the fourth option is security risk. So the security risk from internal user, I'm talking about the security risk from the internal employees. Okay, I'm not talking about the hacker or unknown person who try to bypass your production network from outside to internal, right? So the security risk from the internal users. So if they have a full access and they can just in your you may have some sensitive data in your production network which is have discuss about the your project sensitive, your upcoming projects or your client information, whatever it is more in, so sensitive information. So the internal employees, so if they don't have any restrictions, so they will try to steal your project information, and they will try to sell this information to your competitor, or they will leak your upcoming project details in over the internet, or they try to misuse the data, right? So your client information, right? So it's it's a security risk, right? It's a security risk. So by the data leakage risk, or stealing, right? So it's an internal security risk, guys. Okay, so if you are simply allow your internal users to access the internet without any restrictions, okay, so data stealing may be happen, data leakage might be happened, right? Whatever it is, so it's become an internal security risk. Okay, and then what about external users? So this is internal users, right? So external users, so outside user, if you don't have a restriction, so anyone, how internal users can able to access the internet by having a reachability? Already you have one L3 device router, and that's providing the reachability between your private network to public network. So the external users may be hacker. Okay, so maybe this person is a hacker, right? So he tried to bypass your production network, and here you don't have any restrictions. So you simply provide the reachability. So they will try to reach your production network, and they will try to bypass your I mean your resources. They will try to steal your office resources. That might be a sensitive information, or your resource might be they try to crash your network resources, whatever it is. So security threats. Okay, from the threats from outside to inside. Okay, so you simply in a production network, if you don't have any firewall, simply if you have a reachability, then these are all the drawback you're going to face in your production network. So security risk, so security risk, so from from internal employees, and as well as outside unknown person, they try to steal your information, and they try to bypass your, I mean they try to crash your network resources, might be your internal resources, your PCs, your servers, whatever it is, right? So they So it's going to make a huge impact in your protection network, guys. Okay, so that's the reason you should have a control on your traffic. You should not allow simply anybody any to access anything from internal to external and as well as external to internal. So you should have a control on that traffic. Okay, so you need to control, you need to restrict what kind of access you are going to provide your internal employees to access internet outside, so outside resources. And likewise, who are all from outside, who are all trying to access your internal resources, you're going to restrict who can access and what kind of service they can access and what basis they can access. Everything you have to control that. You should not simply allow everybody to access your internal users to access the external network and external users to access the internal network, right? Because of that, if you're simply allowing that, you're going to face all these stuffs. Okay, security risk and in bandwidth wastage, and then no productivity, right? And network resources wastage. Okay, your infrastructure resources wastage. Your resource might be crashed by the attacker, right? Clear, guys? So we need to control the traffic. So we need to make sure which traffic we are going to accept, which traffic we are going to, whatever the risk, really, we need to I mean, whatever the services and applications, right? So we need to allow or we need to accept, we need for our project purpose. So that specific application, that specific service, that specific uses, only we need to allow, then only your network will be in a safer zone, guys. Okay. So that's the reason by using your normal route. Okay. Here comes your firewalling activities. Okay, so in this scenario only, we need a device to manage, to control your live protection network traffic. Okay, so whatever the traffic you want to allow, that as an administrator, you have to decide, and that specific traffic only you are going to accept by firewall. By using that firewalling feature, we can control the traffic. So how we can control the traffic, guys? So normal scenarios, we just simply enable that, we just provide the reachability from internal network to external network. So now we know what are the drawback simply if you're providing the reachability to internal network to external network. So I don't want to take a risk. So now I want to control the traffic. Okay, now I want to control the traffic. So here comes your firewall role. So firewall can control your traffic, right? So as a firewall administrator, you can decide what kind of traffic you are going to allow. Okay, and is there really necessary to accept that traffic, that application, right? So everything you are going to decide, guys. Okay, based on your client needs, you are going to do it. This is this is the need of firewall. And firewall, it's not only firewall's doing two roles. Okay, so what is that? Control and monitor. So now what is control and why we need to control the traffic, that we just discussed, right? So we need to control the traffic when whatever the really necessary to achieve that project, right? So I mean to do our job role. Based on that, we have to allow that specific service or application we need to accept, right? So you can accept the traffic or you can control the traffic by using some rules. Access control list are security rules, you can say, or access rules, you can say. So by creating some rules to either accept or deny some specific traffic, you can create the access control list or rule, security rules, security. Sometimes we can also call it as a policies. Security policies. By creating that security policies access control list, we can control the traffic. Okay, so now we know what is the purpose of controlling, what is why we need to control the traffic. Then we are, let's say, by creating the rule, we have controlled the traffics. Now your entire LAN users, we are going to allow users to access the internet. Previously we just allow all the services. Now I know the importance of controlling the traffic, so I create some access control list to control the traffic. I'm going to accept my internal users when they try to access the internet for the mail services. Okay, so there AirAsia server. If they try to access their AirAsia server through mail services, I'm going to accept the traffic. Okay. So now by creating that access list, I'm going to accept the traffic. Rest of the traffic, my internal users. So I just replace the control process by creating access control list. I have allow the traffic now only mail services to access. My LAN users can access the mail service so and so destination, which is having 30.10. Okay. And that server and mail services only I'm going to allow to access the internet of my internal users, right? Through the internet, right? So now what happens? We just control. First process is done. Now system A and system B, they try to access the mail server and they are fetching the some mail. Now here one attacker now try to bypass your production network, right? The same. Okay. So he is the attacker. Now he is try to bypass your production network. So he is initiating some traffic and he try to initiate to reach your production network. Now what happens? We already having some access control list. Okay. And that access control list only allowing the source 110 that I mean only it is going to allow the mail services and from the destination 30.10. Okay, so he tried to initiate some traffic, but since we have a access control list, it is going to allow only reply from the 30.10 server, but he is having some of the, let's say he have some IP address 40.10 and he try to initiate the traffic to reach your internal server. So as per the ACL, the destination, either so it while getting a reply, your server need to reply it 30.10 only. Okay, if source is 30.10, your firewall will accept the traffic and if it is a mail services. Okay. POP3, IMAP, any of the services. Okay, so this services only it is going to accept. Okay, so now the packet will not, I mean your attacker will not able to head into your production network because that is controlled by the access list. So the traffic is controlled by the access list. So now only authorized person only can able to access, but he is an unauthorized person. The traffic is denied here. So now what he is trying to do that. So he knows that. So there is a rule we cannot access. We will not able to access that. But he also know that here the users are trying to access your mail server. So now he is sending as a he's going to send some malicious mail, okay, as a valid user like client 1 client 2 he'll get a registration with that mail server that particular portal and he send a mail like that I'm trying to initiate that ticket but I'm not able to uh, book that ticket like that and he try to send some attachment which is having some vulnerabilities may like virus or malware spyware. Okay, so now this mail is trying to, I mean its mail is hosted and that mailbox mail server. So now the employees again try to fetch the mail to give a support to the clients. So in that case now what will happen, your web server, this mail server will share the mail and that mail is by accessible by your internal employees. So this mail have some attachment. So which mail is sent by the attacker, right? So this mail having attachment, this attachment have vulnerability spyware malware. So now what happens? User try to fetch the mail server and try to fetch the ticket. So as of now, as per the rule, that source is initiated from LAN user and destination is your web server, mail server, and now it is sending a reply. So now while sending a reply, your firewall check the rule. The destination is, I mean, source is 30.10, destination is your internal network, and that is already authenticated by the server, your firewall. Okay, so it's allowed traffic. So your firewall normally it will accept the traffic. Okay, so if your firewall only doing a control mechanism and it will accept the traffic and it is the it won't bother because it's already initiated by the internal user. It's getting a reply only, so it is authenticated traffic allowed traffic, so simply your firewall allow the traffic. Okay, Now what happens while try to open the attachment, your employees while giving a support, okay, that attachment is already having some virus malware. So this virus and malwares are installed or injected in your production network. So what after that, whatever the internal users they try to communicate internally, all the internal resources also will be infected by this malware, spyware, which is already injected by that mail by the attacker. Okay, so now here what happened, guys. Even though it's a controlled traffic or authorized traffic, it's not a secure traffic, it's infected traffic. Okay, that replace coming from the authorized users, but unfortunately authorized server, and but unfortunately that data which contained by that mail which is infected, okay, virus or malware, spyware, whatever it is. So your production network, again, by using that malware, spyware, your hacker can spy on your entire infrastructure, and they can able to bypass your production network. They can shut down your servers, whatever it is, whatever they want, they can able to control your entire infrastructure, guys. Okay, so here comes where is security. Even we placed a control mechanism, but where is security here? So that's the reason, if it is a full-fledged firewall, it's need to do monitor. Okay, monitor, here comes monitoring rule. So in this scenario, if you are placing instead of router, if you are placing one next generation firewall, okay, let's say this is Cisco FTD, this is Paloalto, anything. Okay, so now these firewalls can also have options to control the traffic by creating security rule access control list. Along with that, they have options, or they have a features to monitor the authorized traffic. So now what happens? The same way the hacker injected the malware, and now I mean in a mail attachment, and now the user try to fetch the mail. So the service is allowed traffic. Okay, the traffic is allowed. While getting a reply from the server, now what happens? While getting a reply from the server, your firewall will check whether the traffic is authenticated traffic. Yes, it is authorized traffic. It is already initiated by your firewall. Okay, now what happened? It is not going to initiate. Now it's going to do deep inspection. Okay, monitor, or you can say inspection. It's going to do deep inspection against that allowed traffic. So while doing that inspection, it can able to identify whether the whatever the data it's contained, either it's the safest data or it's malfunction data, virus, malware, spyware, whatever it is. Okay, so while doing that deep inspection, your firewall can identify if it is identified any the data contains any malfunctioning activities, your firewall will drop the packet here itself. Okay, if everything is safe, then your firewall will allow the traffic. If everything is and if anything is misbehaving happen in the live data, or it's in a vulnerability, spyware, whatever it is, right, it will do deep inspection. If it is identified as a vulnerable, and it will drop the packet here itself, guys. Okay, so that is the advantage of having a firewall in your production network. Your firewall, if the firewall is an efficient firewall, it has to do two rules. One is control the traffic, another one is monitor or inspect the traffic. Okay, so now we know what is the importance of the inspection. Okay, so now we know what is controlling mechanism and what is monitoring mechanism. I mean inspection. Okay, so the firewall obviously doing these two roles. Okay, so must firewall, a full-fledged firewall must have control and monitor on the traffic. Okay, clear, guys. So an efficient next generation firewall should have a role, should do these roles, control and monitor the traffic. Clear, guys. Any doubt what is firewall now? Why we need a firewall now? And what are the roles? What is the role of exactly? What is the role of firewall? Any doubts? Can I proceed further? So now we have a definition of firewall and what is the role of firewall and what is controlling mechanism and what is monitoring mechanism, right? So we know, right? So shall I proceed further? Okay, you can see that. Control and monitor, and what will be used to control the traffic policy or access control is a security policy, you can say. And what is your monitoring? Your IPS functionality, deep inspection. It's done by your IPS only, intrusion prevention system. Simply, I mentioned that IPS, okay, which can do monitor the traffic. IPS is a inbuilt process which can do deep inspection against the vulnerability, spyware, malware in your firewall. Okay, next generation firewall, guys. Okay, so that is monitoring. Clear, guys? Any doubts up to now? Can I proceed further? Okay, so now then what are the type of firewall we have? So we know what is firewall. Now, what are the type of firewall we have? Okay, so in my perspective, I'm going to classify the firewall. So by creating an access control list and by creating a security profiles, we can monitor the traffic. I mean, we can, your IPS will monitor the traffic. So that we can able to do as a lab. So here, for that we need to know, first you need to know how to access that firewalls and how to configure that everything. Okay. So I'll show you, we'll do that lab in a live session, guys. Okay. Okay. So types of firewall. So I'm going to classify the firewall by the functionality or the or by the role which can do it, right? Right. Or I can by hardware wise, uh, you can classify. Okay, I'm going to classify in a two different ways. The visibility firewalls, I can classify. I'm going to classify hardware based firewall, software based firewall. Okay, hardware based firewall, all the vendors are having a almost all the vendors are having a hardware units. So like Paloalto, Fortinet, Checkpoint, and also all the vendors are having a virtual machines, virtual firewalls, VM firewalls. Okay, software based firewalls. Okay, so so this is a common classification, but from my side, I'm going to classify the firewall based on their role. Okay, so network firewall, end endpoint or software firewall, you can say endpoint firewall or software firewall, you can say whatever it is. Okay, so yeah, web it's a application oriented firewall. So that let me complete one by one so that you can able to understand. Okay, so which can able to detect the web-based applications. Okay, your all next generation firewall can filter the web-based application as well. Okay, so So this network firewall endpoint, can anyone tell me the endpoint firewall example for the endpoint firewall? We are using daily basis, we are using it, guys. Or software firewall also you can mention it. Okay, so Windows Defender. Windows Defender firewall, it's inbuilt in your Windows operating system, or any antivirus applications. You can say it's a software-based firewall which can do deep inspection to identify the vulnerabilities, virus, malware, right? So, an endpoint firewall can protect. The difference between the network firewall and endpoint firewall. Endpoint firewall can protect only on that individual system, individual end devices. Protect only end device. So you need to install that applications or softwares on your endpoint devices like antivirus program, right? So any antivirus applications you need to install on your endpoint devices. It will protect only on that specific device. Okay. But network firewalls, it can protect, example for the network firewalls, whatever here we are learning, Paloalto, Fortinet, Checkpoint, FTD, ASA, all are network firewalls only. Okay, the example for network firewall. And network firewalls can protect entire environment, entire infrastructure. So it can, again, it can detect and it can prevent your infrastructure from the vulnerabilities, entire your network resources. It can provide the security to your entire network resources. Okay, so but endpoint firewalls will can able to prevent or protect only on that specific devices, but network firewall can filter the traffic. It can it can able to filter the traffic from the protocol wise, network and protocol service wise. You can able to do deep inspection. Okay, and and entire infrastructure it can able to protect, but only on specific device, end device, application wise. You can able to filter the traffic on individual device, not entire infrastructure. But here, even application wise, we can protect entire infrastructure, guys. Okay, so that is the difference between the network firewall and endpoint protection. So and whatever we discussed previously about the firewalls and the control and monitoring system, entirely we are discussing about by using network firewalls only, so that we can able to prevent entire infrastructure. Okay, so this network firewall, further I'm going to classify this network firewall. Further I'm going to classify traditional firewall, next generation firewall. In between you can place application firewall. Okay. Next generation firewall will do capable to do all those next traditional firewall activities and application firewall activities, and additionally it has more features, more control on your traffic. So we'll discuss one by one. Okay, so traditional firewall, example for traditional firewall, Cisco ASA. Okay, and example for next generation firewall, what except Cisco ASA in your in our 5in1 firewall compo, whatever the firewall we are learning, all are example for next generation firewall. Okay. And this is web application based firewall, so which is mainly focusing web based services related vulnerabilities, application related vulnerabilities. Okay. And which can filter the traffic web based applications only, not any other applications. Okay. So I'll tell you later this. So first let's come back to your traditional firewall discussion. Okay. So let me draw one topology here. Okay, traditional and next generation firewall. So traditional firewall and can classify as two different firewalls: packet filtering firewall and stateful firewall. So packet filtering firewall, you can say your example, let's say let's draw on topology so that I can able to explain clearly. The same infrastructure I'm going to use it here. So let's say instead of router, okay, let me place router itself. Okay. Yes. Same 10.10, 10.20, and the same FB server 30.10, the same here mail server 40.10. Okay, so now I want to use, I want to control the traffic, right? So as of now, your internal users can able to access the internet. I want to control the traffic. I want to allow only authorized traffic only to access the internet, as well as our external user. I want to allow only authorized users to access it, right? So I'm place this router here, and we my concern is I want to control the traffic. I want to allow only authorized traffic. So can we able to control the traffic, right? By using routers. Okay. So router is the one of the example for packet filtering firewall, guys. Routers is any router. It's one of the example, normal router, one of the example for packet filtering firewall. You can filter the traffic based on you can filter the packets based on ACL, right? So whether which traffic you want to allow or deny by using access control list, that we can create access control list, we can create in your Cisco router or normal any routers, right? So I can able to control the traffic by using router itself by creating access control list. S- But a drawback of using my router as a filtering purpose instead of any additional hardware as a firewall, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use ACL to filter the traffic, control the traffic by using my router here. So in this scenario, what will happen? So by creating access control list, you can control the traffic. So you can define access control list. Your entire LAN subnet can access your destination mail server by the help of IP address as a destination server and services. IMAP, POP3 or whatever mail services you are going to choose it, right? So now what happens once you have authenticated, the drawback when you're using a packet filtering firewall. So based on the ACL only it can able to work. So now 10.10 you're simply allowed to access the mail server and it will be allowed while getting a reply when you're using a packet filtering firewall. Okay, so already you have created one rule, okay, to allow the traffic, and it is getting a reply from now it is getting a reply from the mail server. While getting a reply, it's already authenticated traffic, it's already authorized traffic, reply traffic. This is the reply traffic, right? So now what happens when you're using a packet filtering firewall, you need to create a reverse ACL, reverse traffic. You need to create a ACL for the reverse traffic. Okay, because this is filtering the traffic based on the packet wise, okay, not session wise. Okay, so it's filtering the traffic based on the only on the packet wise, and it whatever the traffic flow, it the reason your fire why we need to create a access control list for reverse traffic to accept that. Okay, so your router will not maintain any routing, I mean any entry for the existing session. Okay, it will not maintain any route. Packet filtering firewall also you can call it as a stateless firewall. Stateless firewall. Example for stateless firewall is any L3 router, right? So routers, you can use it. Your home-based wireless routers also you can use it. Okay, so now it's not, since it's not maintaining the record for existing already authenticated first thing. So let's forget about the traffic, return traffic. So system A, it's now try to access the Facebook as per the rule it is allowed, and system A try to upload some video. Let's say it's having 150 MB size, so it will be converted as 100 IP packets, 1.5 MB data you can use it for each IP packet, right? So 100 IP packets. So now what will happen? It will use the, it's a packet filtering firewall. It will execute the ACL for each and every IP packet, every packet. Okay, so it will check what is the packet and what is the source and destination, and it will do execution the ACL. So for 100 IP packets, so already first IP packet is authenticated, and but the rest of the IP 99 packets are related to the existing session only, right? Existing app data only, right? So now these 100 IP packets again unnecessarily will be ACL will be executed again and again and again. Okay, so because of, even though it's authenticated traffic, so all this 100 IP packets will be executed, ACL will be executed. Because of that, what will happen? So it's a simple traffic. Let's assume where you have a thousands of net users, they are initiating the traffic same time simultaneously in your production network, hundreds of users, thousands of users, right? So they are initiate each users, they will initiate the same time, they will initiate the multiple session, different session, 100 session, 1000 sessions and all. Okay, so they can able to initiate. Okay, so they may try to access some other application service. So because of that, what will happen? Each and every allowed authenticated traffic, again and again your router will do ACL execution. Because of that, bandwidth wastage again, and unnecessary workload you are giving to your router already responsible for routing table and NAT or VPN, whatever you may initiated, right? So other L3 functionalities it is doing, and along with that, your it is ACL execution, it's giving a over workload to overburden to that device and hardware. So bandwidth utilization high and CPU intense high. Okay, and unnecessary execution it is happened. Because of that, your workload, your hardware workload is high, so there is a chance your device might be getting crashed. Okay, so this is the first reason and why we are not able to use your stateless fire packet filtering firewall as a firewall to protect your environment. Okay, this is the first reason. So it can filter, when you're using a router as a firewall, you can filter the traffic by IP based and service based L3 and L4 filters, you can achieve it. But even though you can achieve L3 and L4 filters, it's not not it's not able to do identify the already authenticated traffic, because there is no record is maintained by this packet filtering devices, I mean fire routers, for the existing authentication sessions. Okay, so because of that, unnecessarily we keep on executing the ACL again and again. And the second main drawback is, for reply traffic also you need to create a ACL to accept the traffic. Okay, so it's over workload, over burden to initiate the traffic to allow or deny. Okay, so it's not suitable to your production network, guys, where you have thousands of session you are initiating in a live session each and every minute. Okay, so it is not suitable, and over workload, CPU intense, and have a bandwidth wastage. And then additionally, it it doesn't have a privilege to do monitor the traffic. Your router doesn't have a privilege. Your router may have a privilege to control the traffic by using ACL, and that is not full-fledged control even. Okay, and there is no monitoring features to control, to inspect the traffic, whether that is a secure one or non-secure one, virus or malware. It is not able to identify it. Okay, So that is the two drawback we have when you are using a packet filtering firewall, traditional method firewalling system. Okay. So after that, they have implemented another device, separate device. They come up with a firewalling device. Okay. So one of the traditional and stateful. There, I mean, what is the main drawback here? Even though it is already authenticated traffic, again and again we are unnecessarily we are initiating the traffic. I mean, we are executing the ACL to filter the traffic. The first reason, they identified your router doesn't having any entry for existing execution, or any existing session information doesn't have any entry. Okay, so that is called, it's a stateless firewall. Okay, we don't have any information about existing session, whether it is already authenticated, whether it is initiated, or whether it is dropped. That there is no data for that. Okay, so because of that, unnecessarily it is executing the ACL. Okay, so they come up with a another feature called stateful firewalling, stateful filtering. The same, instead of router, they replaced here Cisco AS, I mean, replaced a device called firewall. Okay, so one of the traditional firewall is Pix. Previously, before ASA, Pix is the firewall. Actually, it is used for internet access, NAT purpose only. It is NATing device, but later on they have added the fire, make it as a firewalling device, Pix. Okay, so and another known traditional A firewall is a Cisco ASA. Okay, so ASA, Cisco is bought Pix from the I mean, Cisco, they take over the firewall called Pix, and they have replaced then whatever the drawback is there in Pix, they have replaced it, and they have come up with their own firewall called ASA. Okay, so let me discuss with the ASA itself. So they replaced one more product. Instead of router here, they're placing one more product called firewall. This time, this firewall, again, this is traditional firewall only, but this time they have replaced one feature. Instead of stateless filtering, they have come up with the stateful filtering. Okay, so let me ASA firewall, okay, which can filter the traffic. So now this ASA firewall, what happens? So by replacing packet filtering firewall, they're just, I mean, instead of stateless filtering, they replaced stateful filtering. So what they will do, what it will do, stateful filter, it will maintain the record for the same scenario, the same user, he is trying to upload 100 mbps day, sorry, 100 150 MB data in Facebook server, and now each data is converted as 100 IP packets. And now what happens, the same traffic, it's executed, I mean, it is inspected or it is controlled by the ASA firewall. What it will do, it will check first packet, 100 IP packets, it will be converted, right? First packet itself, it will check, it will maintain. So it will maintain the record. What is the source? What is the source IP? What is the destination IP? What is the service? Okay. And what is that? What type of traffic? It is a written traffic, or it is initiated traffic. I mean, it's a request or reply. Okay. Everything is maintained. So what is the source IP? 10.10. What is the destination IP? 30.10, which is your Facebook server. Okay, what is your service? Facebook using web services, port number 443. So now it will give a identity. What is the type? Initiation. It's a request. Okay, so it will give, now what it will do for this request, and it will give some numbers. So this is called session ID. It will give some unique number. Okay, and inside the session ID, it will maintain the record. What is the source IP? What is the destination IP? What is the protocol? What is the service? Right? What is the type of initiation? Whether it is request or reply? Okay, all the record will be maintained. Now what will happen? So the next packets, it will check for that particular source and destination. Do we have any existing session? Yes, we have existing session, it is maintained in your session table. So other packets will not be you first packet only it will use to ACL to control the traffic. It will like the same ACL we are going to use it, and it will check whether that particular source and destination is allowed or not. If it is allowed, and then session will be created, and while creating that session, it will maintain all the information. What is the source IP, destination IP, what is the service, right? And everything it will be maintained. The from second packet onwards, it is going to cross check your existing session table for the destination. We have already we have existing session. If yes, it will skip the ACL execution, guys. If yes, it will skip the ACL execution. And so you can avoid instead of in normal packet filtering, we are executing the ACL 100 times for the same session, but here you can reduce 99% of ACL execution for the already authenticated traffic. This is a first advantage when you're using a stateful firewall. And second, when you're using a packet filtering firewall, when you're getting a reply from that server, it will check again, it will check what is the source and destination. It will check what is the packet. It's a request packet or a reply packet. If it is a reply packet, it will use the same session table to sending to further forward the traffic to the uh, reply to the destination. Okay, so now it is fully avoid the ACL execution for the return traffic. Okay, if you're using a normal traditional packet filtering firewall, so you need to, you're not maintaining the session table, and you need to create a return ACL for the to accept the return traffic. Okay, so it's over workload to your device. But by replacing one feature called stateful inspection, so it will maintain all the record. So it is avoiding unnecessary ACL execution, and as well as unnecessary no need of ACL for the return traffic to accept the create the ACL to accept return traffic. Okay, so because of that, bandwidth wastage is reduced, and CPU workload is reduced for that device, and CPU intensity is minimal, and it efficiently it can filter the traffic layer 3 to layer 4. Okay, network layer based on the filters you can set network layer, which means IP based filter, network based filter you can use it, and service based filter, TCP or UDP services, protocol based filters you can able to use. Protocol and protocol, TCP protocol, UDP protocol, and services, web service, mail service, port number. Protocol and port number, it's used to filter the traffic. Okay. Fine, guys. So now, comparatively, instead of packet traditional stateless firewalling, if you're using a traditional stateful firewall, you can reduce the bandwidth wastage, and you can reduce the unnecessary workload, and it can efficiently work. It can efficiently filter the traffic than your tra- uh, traditional stateless firewall, and traditional stateful firewall will work efficiently than that stateless firewall, guys. Okay, but still one of the drawback is there in AS8, since it's a traditional firewall, it's not aware about the layer 7 filters. You cannot filter the traffic based on the application wise. And you cannot, there is no monitoring mechanism. Okay, you will not able to do deep inspection against the vulnerability, spyware, malware, and application. You cannot filter the traffic based on the application and user-based filters. It's not possible by using traditional stateful firewall, which is ASA firewall. ASA firewall will not support layer 7 filters. So you cannot filter the traffic by user-based and then application-wise, right? You can't able to do that. And as well as additionally, there is no more monitoring feature. There is no IPS activities. Clear? Okay, guys. So this is the only drawback where when we have a traditional stateful firewall. So you don't have options to filter the traffic by application wise, and user based filter it's not possible, and there is no options to monitor your traffic. There is no IPS functionalities. Again, we are not able to protect your environment against the modern threats. Okay, by using traditional firewall. So they come up the next they come up with the next upcoming feature. They're called next generation firewall feature or UTM feature. Okay, in between we have a firewall, application firewall. So the drawback, what are the drawback when you're using a ASA firewall? It is not able to filter the traffic based on the application wise. Okay, so so in between, after packet filtering and stateful firewall, they have implemented called application firewalls. Okay, so in this scenario, what you have to do, you have to place your ASA firewall as well. Okay, let me draw back, draw in topology. So here I have placed my ASA firewall, traditional ASA firewall, to filter the traffic based on the layer 3 and layer 4 filters. Okay. And now I can able to, by using L3's filter, ASA L3 and L4 filters, I can able to do it. But I want to filter the traffic application wise. Okay. So like web-based application, I want to look, let's say Facebook or all other social networking application, I want to block it. Application based filter, I'm not able to use it in a traditional ASA firewall. So to overcome that, they have implemented one feature called specifically application firewall, which can work only on layer 7, not layer 3, layer 4. So it's a dedicated device, application firewall. It's in a separate firewall which can work with layer 7, not L3 functionality. It will not do L3 inspection. It's not able to do that. L4 inspection. It's not able to do that. Other services, it's not able to do that. Okay. So to in a traditional way, to those who want to filter the traffic, application L7 layer 7 as well, application wise as well, they have purchased one more product called application firewall, firewall, application firewall, and they have replaced, I mean, they have additionally placed one more along with ASA firewall. They have added one more firewalling filter which can work with the application layer itself. Okay, so L3 and L7, L4 filters will done by your firewall, and since this application firewall doesn't have a L3 and L4 functionality, it doesn't it's not having privilege to do NAT, it's not having privilege to do router, it's not having privilege to do VPN, initiate the VPN. Okay, but it can able to inspect the traffic by application wise. Layer 7, you can filter here in this device, you can filter the traffic by application. So let's say I want to block Facebook, that is possible an application firewall, but I am not able to, it's not possible on your ASA firewall. Okay, so in a traditional method, they have used both the devices to achieve application filter as well. Layer 3 filter, layer 4 filter plus application filter, application firewall they have added. So they are mainly focusing this feature only, not other feature. Okay, so that is one of the drawback. Okay, guys. So after that, they have come up with a traditional feature, and it doesn't aware to monitor. There is no monitoring, proper monitoring, traditional way. Okay, still there is no monitor. So additionally, they come up with a new features which is called next generation firewalling, or UTM features. So what they have implemented, so they have implemented, instead of these two devices, if you want to use a L7 filter and L3 to L4 filters plus L7 filters, you need to place two different devices for firewalling purpose, but there is no monitoring again. Okay, so now what happens, they have added these two different devices under one device as a one role. Okay, one device, one hardware, or one role. So that hardware is called next generation firewall, that feature is called a next generation features. So you can fill by replacing next generation firewall features, so instead of adding multiple devices to do the same process. Okay, so they have come up with next generation firewall which can do filter layer 3 to layer 7, layer 3, layer 4, layer 7 filters, which means application filters I can able to do it, and IP based filter, protocol and port number based filter, I can able to do it. And along with this next generation firewalls come with IPS functionalities. Okay, so monitoring, monitoring features. You can able to monitor, which means deep inspection. Okay. For monitoring purpose in a traditional way, we have along with the firewall, ASA firewall, in a traditional deployment option. This is your infrastructure. Okay. And that is connecting with your switch. And here, one here you placed, uh, let's say this is your IPS. There is a dedicated device which do monitoring separately. Okay. And this is an application filter. And this is your ASA firewall. And then it's internet. Okay, so if you want to access the internet, or internet user want to access your production network, so right, so they need to meet your ASA firewall. There L3 L4 filters will do, and then they meet another device. They come up to the next device where we are doing L7 filter, and then after that it will go for IPS where doing a monitoring. And it so if L3 and L4 filter is denying anything, the traffic will be denied your ASA itself. L7 filter is denying anything, traffic will be denied in your layer 7 itself. If IPS is denying any vulnerability is identified, then only your the traffic will be denied by your IPS. After, if everything is safe, then only it will reach your production network as okay. So because of that, you have to spend lot of money. IPS, you need a one more device, and application firewall, you need one more device, and then traditional firewall, one more device you need to you need a three different devices. For backup purpose, you need each devices as a one more alternate devices you have. So almost you have a six devices you have to use to protect your network in a traditional way. So after some days, they have implemented all these features by using single hardware that is called next generation firewall. Okay, your firewalling feature L3 to L7 plus monitoring IPS, everything added under one hardware or one operating system, one virtual machine, you can say. So one device under one device. So that is called next generation firewall. Next generation firewall, NGFW. Okay, so which can do filter the traffic by layer 3 to layer 7, which can do inspect the traffic by entire all your IPS functionality. You which along with that, it can filter the traffic based on the URL website. You can control, you can use file blocking. If you want to block some files, it's possible. If you want to protect the data leakage protection feature is possible. Everything is available in the next generation firewall, guys. Okay, so all these three different devices which is done, right, so can be done by one single one device called a next generation firewall. Okay, and along with that are more additional features we have, like URL filter, file blocking, data leakage protection, and then zero day threat prevention features. Like efficient, all are done by efficient way by single device. Okay, so because of that, you can reduce the budget to protect your say infrastructure. Instead of purchasing multiple unnecessary hardwares, you can purchase few necessary hardwares. So instead of purchasing six devices, you can just purchase two devices along with the backup here. So you can single firewall can do that, but backup purpose we are using, we need a one more hardware, the same hardware for backup purpose. Okay, clear, guys? So let me show. So that's the reason we are using to protect your infrastructure. Nowadays, we are using a next generation firewall, and that's this is how your next generation firewalls are having more important nowadays, and you can able to see more huge openings on the firewall products. Okay, so here. So let me explain one by one. Packet filtering router is one of the example, and ACL you can use to filter the traffic in a traditional packet filtering method. And pros, so layer 3 layer 4 filters we can use it, but what is the disadvantage? So there is multiple ACL execution over workload, there is no layer 7 filter, and there is no UTM features, which is called a next generation firewall features. Deep inspection and application control, URL filter, file blocking, data leakage protection features, zero day threat prevention, these features are not there. And if you're using a traditional stateful methodology, you can use either ASA as one of the traditional firewall. And what is the advantage of using ASA? Previously, it's not, there is no entry for existing sessions. So here they have introduced the stateful firewall. Stateful firewall, it's also called as a connection table. I mean, session table, also called as a connection table or state table. Okay, so state information is maintained by the session table. And what is session table? I have already explained it. So what is the source and destination and applications? I mean, services. Everything is maintained as a record. That record is called session table. Okay. And pros, again, L3 and L4 filters, you can able to do it. And advantage, connection table we have, so we can avoid unnecessary ACL execution. And cons, there is no application layer filter, and then no UTM features. Okay, so next generation firewall features. Okay. By using A shields only, we are filtering that traffic again. And what about the next generation firewall? Next generation firewalls, example, Paloalto FortiGate checkpoint, and then Cisco is FTD. And what is the advantage? L3 filter we can able to, if you want to block that, filter the traffic based on the IP address. If you want to filter the traffic based on the protocol. If you want to filter the traffic based on the application, right? Micro application, everything you can able to do it. And along with that, monitoring feature, so you can able to monitor by IPS. Okay, and you have a URL filter, 0-day threat prevention feature, data protection, file blocking, and IPS can do inspection against with the virus, malware, spyware, monitoring your live traffic while data. Okay, clear guys. So this is the advantage when you're having a next generation firewall. In you're giving your single device can do multiple three different traditional devices work. The single device can able to do it, guys. Okay, so nowadays without next generation firewall you cannot protect your environment properly, okay, from the modern threats. Clear guys? Any queries, any doubts? So the protection in a infrastructure, so based on their needs, okay, so sometimes they have a dedicated, you can use a dedicated devices only mainly focusing that specific services. Let's say I am running on mail server. Okay, so I have you can deploy dedicated mail service feature, mail related firewalling devices. Let's say in Fortinet we have a 40 mail. 40 mail is the security device mainly focusing mail related services, vulnerability, spyware, malware, which is mail services related. Okay, 40 mail. Or in Cisco we have a ESP, e okay, email security product. Okay, ESP. And in likewise we have a web related, only web services. If you are running a web server, web services related vulnerability you want to protect in your environment, we have a in Cisco WSA, web security appliances. ESA, email security appliances for email services, web security appliances for web services. And likewise in Fortinet we have a FortiWeb. It's mainly focusing web related services. So these products will use to protect that particular server, web server, mail server, where you're having a servers in your infrastructure. So we are running our web services or we are running a mobile mail services. So along with this next generation firewall added as a one more security layer, they will use these products. Okay, specifically focusing that specific devices, specific services. Okay, guys. So, but next generation firewall can run all the services. I mean, it can able to filter the traffic based on the mail service. The next generation IPS commonly focusing all the vulnerabilities which is related to the mail service, web services, whatever it is. Okay, so common services it can able to protect. And the next generation firewalls are deployed in a Cisco has ESP, email security appliances, ESA, and for email service. Okay, and for web services, email security appliances, web security appliances, WSA. Okay, that is not a full-fledged firewalls. Okay, that is application-based firewalls and that specific services. Okay, but next generation firewalls can do all the activity, all entire service related. Next generation firewall IPS have full-fledged IPS functionalities, and it can able to detect the web-related applications, web-related services in and mail-related services, whatever it is. Okay, so it will your next generation firewalls. It's protect entire infrastructure, but the specific service related security products will protect the only mail server and web server like that. Okay, so part of your next generation firewall features only that have that specific product have, but it can do implement only that application, that are all application firewalls. Okay, so it will not able to do deep inspection against the vulnerable. I mean, it will not able to filter the traffic layer 3, layer 4, layer 7 up to layer 7. It will do only on layer 7 that specific services. Okay, any doubts, any other doubts, guys? So this is your upcoming batch schedule. Okay, so you can join any day, either 5in1 Firewall Combo or any individual firewalls. And regarding the weekend batch, weekend there is no session on Sunday. In Saturday, full day session, morning 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Almost 6 hours sessions you are going to have. In between, you are going to have 1 hour lunch break. Okay, so only on Saturday, guys. It's I forget to mention here. Okay, there is no session on Sunday, only on Saturday. Okay, weekends. Any queries, guys? Any doubts? And for other, I'll share other product live demo as well. Okay, for the recorded video. Okay, I'll share 2 3 links which is related to the Paloalto FortiGate checkpoint. Okay, so for a demo purpose, you can just go through that links. I mean, go through that session. Okay, and if you have any doubts, any queries, you can just ping me on this number. You can call me 9597818863. You can call me on this number, guys. Okay, and I'll drop my number for it in chat itself. So you can contact me for the admission process. Okay, and the upcoming batch we are going to start on 3rd Jan 2024, guys. Okay, so any doubts, any queries? Yeah, each batch it's there. So it's in a starting date, 3rd. Okay, so duration of each courses, let me explain. The Palo Alto will take 1.5 months to complete in weekdays. Okay, in weekend it will take 2 months. Okay, so let's say Palo Alto 45 sessions we need. 45 hours it will take to complete. 45 to 50 hours it will take to complete. It's totally depends on you guys how you are going to understand. If you're having any further queries or if any further discussion, so I'm for me 45 hours is enough, but I'm make it as a 50 hours. So in between, if you have any doubt or any discussion if you need, we can schedule it. For Palo Alto it will take 1.5 months. Okay. And FortiGate it will take 1 month to complete, guys. Checkpoint it will take 1 month to complete, and ASA and FTD it will take 1.5 months to complete. Okay, so totally 5 months, 5 to 5.5 months it will take to complete. Okay, so and I'll give you the a day wise plan for each product in a live session. The day one we will discuss about deeply, we are going to discuss about the each product curriculum, and then I'll give you the day wise plan. So first day what we are going to cover, second day what we are going to cover, the starting date and end date you can able to come to know in a day one of live session, guys. Okay. Clear, guys? I'll give you the day wise plan on that particular date. Okay, so let me show you one simple like that. Okay, so this is how day one, day two, like that, what topic we are going to cover, like that. I'll give you the plan for your batch. Okay, this is for existing batch. So for your batch, I'll give you in a day one, I'll give you the number of days and number of session information, which topic we are going to cover. Along with that, I'll give you. Any other queries, guys? Sorry for the long session. I have taken a 20 minutes extra than scheduled time. Okay, I'll make sure here after the, I mean, in our live session, the proper schedule will be followed. Any queries? Okay, guys, you can also ask me you can contact me, and if you have any queries, you can just, if you want to discuss with me, you can ping me, you can call me on this number. Okay, so we'll have a word, and then we'll proceed the live sessions. And I'll share one, those who want to, those who willing to join this batch. Okay, I'll share one Google form. I request you to fill that form, and we'll contact you for the admission process. And the recorded video, sorry, each and every sessions will be recorded, and recorded video will be provided for you, and we will give you the LMS access where we will upload the recorded videos and other course related materials. Okay, you can access in our portal. Okay, so we'll give you the access. We'll create a separate WhatsApp group for the each and every session. Okay, I'll the daily links for the daily session you will get in a daily basis on your WhatsApp group. Anything else, guys? Uh, yeah, thank you, Srikanth. Okay, fine. Manzi, board, zombie or timing. What is the time now? So I'm so you can just convert this here. It's a IST timing. You can just convert based on your name. It's a 9:05. It's a AM or what is your time zone? 9:05, 9:55. Okay, fine. It's a morning. So in a morning here almost 1 o'clock. So for Okay, just ping me with your time zone. I'll convert. I'll let you know. Or else you can convert. Here time is 1:30 p.m. Okay, so you can just convert. You can shoot your. You can choose your times. I mean, this is our time slot IST. Okay, and maybe for you weekend batch or evening batch is suitable to you. Weekdays evening batch it's suitable to you. Morning batch it will be for mid almost here now 1:30 for you it's at 10 or 10 a.m. So 7 o'clock. So early morning 3 or 4 o'clock for you early morning. Okay, I'm not sure. So you can just convert your time slot based on your time zone. Okay, guys. So if you have any further queries, you can just ping me. Okay, that's it today. We'll meet on live session, guys. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye. Have a good weekend and have a great New Year, guys. Happy New Year to everyone.